Yeah, so, well, this is awkward. I guess this farewell party for Yaku was all for nothing, huh? We were going to reminisce on all our best moments throughout the series, and Earl up there was gonna sing us his rendition of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer to help lighten the mood, but looks like none of that will be necessary now. And I was so excited to have you all hear Earl's amazing singing voice. Well, since you're all here and in your best dress attire, might as well sit back and enjoy a regular review video. So sit back, relax, and grab some of that Reston Peach cobbler that I ordered. Can't let the food go to waste. Does anyone know the return policy on a custom-made We'll Miss You Yaku banner? I'm asking for a friend. I'm Moonlight150, and this is my review of the latest 100 Girlfriends manga chapter, Chapter 236, Aijo Rentero's Wish. Go show your excitement for Yaku's not demise by checking out the chapter where the scanlators post them, as they worked extra hard on this chapter, as well as share that excitement with the official release, as Volume 16 will be out next week. Now, onto the chapter. I need to see how Yaku survived this. We open the chapter right where we left off, with Rentero being struck by inspiration on how to help Kasuri. He suggests using the Reborn as a New You drug that has been used multiple times in this series so far, but with a twist. Instead of swapping souls to different bodies, Rentero suggests that Kasuri split up her soul and inhabit both hers and Rentero's body, thus giving her the extra set of hands that is needed to work on the drug. Rentero, my guy, listen, I can suspend my disbelief for a lot in this series. Body swapping drug? Sure, that happens every other Tuesday. But splitting a soul in half so it can pilot two bodies at once? Where did you even pull that from? That's not even sci-fi anymore. Now we're just playing Mad Libs with metaphysics. And even if that idea wasn't completely outside of the realm of this series, Kasuri would need like a whole month to even begin developing something like that. She's already working on the immortality drug, and Yaku's clock is ticking. We need something more realistic. Something grounded, something she already has that exact drug. What? So yeah, she already has all of that set and ready to go in the form of Splits Your Soul drug. How oddly convenient, Nakamura. But Kasuri actually acts like a responsible scientist for once in this series in quite some time, and tells Rentero that a soul hanging out for too long outside of the body begins to disintegrate, with one's consciousness and memory slipping away into the void, which she knows firsthand because that's exactly what happened to her while testing the drug. Then in comes something actually really great from Kasuri, saying that even if this would help Yaku, she won't do anything to endanger Rentero's life, which I find really sweet and noble for Kasuri's character. Last chapter she seemed she would do anything, but I guess there is a line between just not eating and risking your boyfriend's soul going into the ether. After that bit of possibly the greatest exchange of character dialogue between Kasuri and Rentero, he reminds her that they have almost no time left. Desperate times, desperate measures and all that. Rentero still offers to do it and vows that he won't let his soul dissipate. Which was all that it took to convince Kasuri apparently, as they get to work ingesting all kinds of drugs, making their souls leave their bodies. And just as she said, she conveniently also had the drug to split her soul into two. Now we have two Kasuris, but not in the way I wanted. Instead of 8 and 18-year-old Kasuri, we now have two 9-year-old Kasuri souls inhabiting the two bodies. Honestly, I think I prefer my original theory. Kasuri then warns Rentero's spirit to not let any angels take his soul away. So, which is it, Nakamura? Do souls just fade away, or do angels take them away? Be consistent with your lore. Oh, and apparently floating heads are too comedic for this serious arc, so Rentero makes himself a full body apparition instead of a floating head, because that is apparently what is important right now. With that, the two Kasuris are off to work, with Rentero fending off little angels trying to take him to heaven in the background. After who knows how long, Rentero begins to get tired, possibly a side effect of being a wandering spirit, where he notices the dissipation is starting to take hold of him. Knowing he has to hold on for longer, he begins to mentally focus on the promise he made to Kasuri that he would return to her. So he starts going on a long monologue about how much he loves Kasuri and how gorgeous she is, and a bunch of other things kind of resembling the infamous monologue from season 2, though strictly about Kasuri this time. Hell, we even get this panel which can only be described as a scanlator's worst nightmare. Give some extra love to Zune Scans for this chapter for the work that they put into it. They are better people than I. After an unknown amount of time, well, I guess it's less than 3 days since that was the ticking clock before Yaku died, the new batch of the immortality drug is complete. Though it's supposed to be a cause of celebration, Kasuri looks back and notices that Rentero's spirit is nowhere to be found. Kasuri quickly reverts everything back to normal and starts crying out for Rentero's soul to come back to his body. But after multiple pleas, nothing seems to be working, and Kasuri fears the absolute worst has happened. And it's in those tears that triggers what's next.
You have looked the scattered pieces of Rentero's soul, though something vaguely resembling a mind still remains. It no longer recalls what it once was. These fleeting, indistinct bits of existence, gradually, piece by piece, begin to link together, trigger tears start flowing.
Kusuri's tears and Rento's wish for her to stop crying was enough for Rentaro to literally pull his spirit and consciousness back together after it had dispersed into nothingness. Like, he was so far gone he forgot who he was, and only remembered once Kusuri said his name. Damn, I think we reached new levels of Rento's power scaling.
It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?!
Forget beating the God of Infinity, this man pulled his own ass out of the ether of nothingness and apologized for being late. What a Chad. Hard cut to Kusuri giving Yaku the new immortality drug, and now pops Yaku like nothing ever happened. The status quo has been maintained, not even keeping her white hair. But now with his two girlfriends happy and safe, Rentaro finally lets his human side show and passes out from exhaustion, where Kusuri has a quick flashback of Rentaro helping her throughout this whole endeavor, to where she decides to reward him with not one, but 2 kisses, one in each form. And we get a new addition to the collection of the close-up post-kiss shots. It may not be Aira like I wanted, but at least it's 18-year-old Kusuri instead of 8-year-old Kusuri. I'll take any wins I can get at this point. And there we have it, Kusuri's serious arc done. Nakamura sure is picking up the pace with these. They are usually very spaced out, but now we both got Nano's and Kusuri's in the same year. So now that we're at the end of the OG 5 girlfriends having their serious arcs, where would I rank this? As much as I did like it, I think currently compared to everyone else's, it's probably at the bottom. That doesn't mean I hate it, it's just everyone else's was just so good. Hakari had the whole drama of being held captive by her controlling mother, and even jumping out of a window to escape her situation. Karane dealt with who she is as a person and character, and her fears of how it might affect her love life and taking drastic measures to change it, only to be reminded that everyone loves her for who she is. Shizuka confronted the trauma that was introduced in her introduction chapter with her overprotective mother by showing her how much she loves life now. And for Nano, while it did go into the over-the-top with the alternate universes and erasing oneself from existence, and seeing a world without Nano as a girlfriend, we also get a big emotional scene from the typical non-emotional character. So by comparison, Kusuri's arc just kind of lingers there at the bottom in comparison. It is nice that it was tied into her backstory regarding her immortality drug and her love for her grandmother that inspired her to make that drug, but I honestly find the whole splitting your soul and taking control of another body to work on the drug even more out there than a kiss that brings back all of your lover's memories. Okay, enough with being negative. What did I like? I do like Kusuri being serious for pretty much the entire time, considering she is usually the chaos gremlin in most chapters. We see her 18-year-old self here probably more than the last 100 chapters combined, which by the law of equivalent exchange probably means we aren't going to be seeing much of her for the next 100 chapters either. And the scene of her crying and holding Rentaro thinking she lost him and blaming herself because she knew the risks was amazing. Though when it immediately hard cut to the next scene, that did hurt its effect a little bit. We could have held on to that reassuring hug for another panel or so and let the emotional moment sink in for just a bit longer. So now the countdown begins until Hahari's serious arc. Or does she even get one because hers was so closely tied to Hakari's? Guess we just have to wait and see if she gets one or they jump right into Karumi's. And before we head out, I want to share a quick anecdote that I forgot to include because I kind of went hard into the whole Yaku's death speech last time. So funny enough, the night before the Japanese Raws for part 1 of the serious arc came out, I had my first ever dream related to 100 Girlfriends. No joke, what the dream was about was a chapter where Shizuka fell down an elevator shaft and died, but then the Grim Reaper appeared and made a deal with everyone that he would revive Shizuka if everyone in the Rentaro family gave up 2 years of their lifespan each, to which everyone unanimously agreed to do so. So, kind of wild I had a dream about a girlfriend dying just before the chapter that threatens the death of a girlfriend. Guess my soul is getting a little too linked to this series, that I'm now having prophetic dreams about chapters before they occur. Oh, and it's break week, which, you know what that means. I talked about it a few videos ago. With this break week, that means we are officially getting Girlfriend 36 in January, and not before Christmas. Probably even the first chapter of 2026 is introducing Girlfriend 36. And that gives us the high probability that we'll be getting 5 girlfriends in 2026, something we haven't had in a long time in this series. Crazy to think that by this time next year we'll most likely be at Girlfriend 41. And also, since it's break week, we are going in blind into the next chapter with no hint of what it could be. We already got our 2-parter for the volume, so it can literally be anything. Watch it be the return of the regular daily life chapters or something. Oh, I just jinxed it, didn't I? I've been Moonlight150, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell with your detached soul spirit while you're down there. And I will see you all on the next video. Make me sound cool.
Let's watch some crazy stuff, yo! Jeez, Rick, oh my god!